welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and welcome to the 5th episode in our I Ching 101 series. Today's session began to talk about what is a trigram. You've heard me talk about what is the I Ching and what is a hexagram, and in that episode we spoke about this idea that a hexagram is made up of two trigrams, two 3-lined images that together form this 6-lined image or this hexagram or gua. Many other ways of saying it. Right, so we have our top one, we have our bottom one, two trigrams meeting together to make the hexagram. So what is the trigram? What is this 3-lined image all about? First, we have to roll back a little bit. We've spoken before about these two primal creation energies of being yin and yang, female and male. And like the DNA helix, these two entities combine to form all the creation as we know it. Now, yin and yang in the cosmology of the I Ching were formed out of the Big Bang explosion. First there was nothing, and then there was this huge movement and explosion. Out of this created the two forces of yin and yang. Yin and yang started to evolve and emerge like the planets, they're flying through space with all the space particles and the gas hitting and merging and coalescing to form little bodies that hit and form more bodies, and we get big planets. Same idea of this coalescing happening through the Big Bang process and this huge explosion of energy, forming firstly those two primal energies of yin and yang, then forming 4 combinations of 2, so our little helix, and that forming the 8 forces of change, the 8 trigrams of I Ching. So 2 to 4 to 8. So the 8 trigrams, as you can see, are combined in varying arrangements that depict relationships between these trigrams. So what is a trigram? The trigrams are the 8 forces of nature, forces of change that shape the world, the material world, as we know it. They're a family. So you might often find in I Ching books, you see them referred to as a family, a set of 8 family members, a mother and a father, father being heaven, mother being earth, 3 sons, and 3 daughters. So what I thought I'd do is very briefly go through and introduce you to the family of the I Ching. These forces of change combine and coalesce further to make the 64 stages of change that we experience in our daily lives and in the questions we pose to the I Ching, and indeed the questions we pose weekly and monthly here too. So let's meet this family. So let's start with Daddy. Sorry, Mommy. Daddy is heaven, right? Is everything that's possible. The dragon, the father, the ultimate creative energy bursting with power and vibrancy and moves upwards, is energetically moving upwards. Let's have a look at Mommy. Mommy is earth. So you see there's the opposite. We have heaven expanding because the universe is ever expanding. And here we have the earth, grounded earth, sitting and nurturing and holding the whole family together, because a family would collapse without the mommy, right? Okay, we're talking symbolically here, okay? Right, so mommy's at the bottom. She is earth and she's the mother, all right, the mother energy. And so we have heaven and earth as these two primal forces of change. So let's look at the eldest son. The eldest son is thunder. Thunder awakens and cracks through the sky. Think about the effect of thunder upon you. You will go to the window and you want to look at it. The roaring of the lightning and the thunder. It pays attention. The eldest son, thunder, he just wants to go and leave the nest as soon as he can and go and travel and go around the world. That's the energy. It's movement, it's energy, and it moves up. As you can see, that earth energy, because it's heavy, it sinks down. Okay, so you have this pull of father and mother, of heaven and earth. You have this thunder, the eldest son, that just wants to go off and experience life and go and find himself far, far away. Then we have the eldest daughter, and this is wind. And wind is the devoted, dedicated daughter who stays behind. She does the opposite to the eldest son. She stays behind and she cares for and nurtures the elders in the family. She is the one that supports and nourishes, and she's in the background and she's not very visible and doesn't have a big career. She's just there to support and nourish the family. Now, I want you to really pay attention to the idea that what we're not talking about is putting Wind, or the eldest daughter, into a box and saying women are caregivers on the background. We are talking about creative energies, the forces of change. And yes, in ancient China, there was a very patriarchal system where the women were second-class citizens. You had concubines, multiple wives, all these kinds of things. So you have to just bear in mind that in the time, that was the way things were. We're talking about concepts, metaphors, symbols of change that we go through. We all have all 8 of these in us. It's about understanding how they work. So we have Thunder, the eldest son, who's disappearing off overseas, and we have the eldest daughter, who's quite demure, quite background, nurturing and caring for the family. Wind as an energy, what is it? Yes, it can go violent if it's added with other things, but in its essential nature, wind shapes and nurtures things by slow, gentle means. She is not in this archetype of the eldest daughter, the hero of the show and out there front and center like Thunder has. He's gone off and made his career and his fame somewhere else. We're talking about soft, gentle growth, nurturing and gently moving things forward, but achieving incredible things by applying this gentle force consistently over the long term. Thunder creates change by cracking things apart and making a huge splash, whereas wind takes every grain of sand and moves it slowly one day at a time. You can move a sand dune with wind, one grain of sand at a time. And that is the idea of this wind or wood energy. So you sometimes see in I Ching texts they talk about wood or wind being interchangeable. Same idea. When a plant grows through the ground, what does it do? Gently, persistently grows and achieves huge, beautiful trees by being devoted to consistency. Let's have a look next at the middle children. We have the middle son. His name is Water. And he's the middle son. He's sandwiched between the eldest and the youngest. And he is a little risky. We're unsure. He's kind of a dark horse. We're not quite sure which way he's going to go, which way he's going to flow. And with water as an element, the same applies. Water is channeled. And if it's dammed up, it can overflow and create damage. It just flows on and on. That's what it knows how to do. And the way we maximize water is by focusing and channeling it. So learning how to master water means understanding how to flow through obstacles, understand risk, but understand containment. The middle daughter is fire. She is the fire that clings to the wood, and she's the spiritual sister of the group. She's the one who has a mission, who wants to help people and grow and to shed light on things and expand. And she clings to the wood, which is her nutrition, her fuel, and she grows and expands. So fire is not the firecracker fire starter of Thunder, the eldest son. She is the one that glows and brings illumination. And as she has better fuel, she can shine brighter and bring clarity and warmth to others, just like a fire can. Let's have a look at the youngest siblings of the I Ching family. We have the youngest son, and he is Mountain. Mountain brings the end of the family line, the close of the family lineage, because he's the last son. He's the last one to hold the family name. And Mountain, whereas fire, you see, can go up, she burns up, and water sinks down into its lowest level, Mountain kind of sinks and rests, okay? It rests upon the earth. It doesn't sink all the way down, but it sinks and rests. It's heavy. And Mountain represents obstacles, but also completion of things, completion of the cycle, and locked, rigid thinking, okay, which can have good sides and bad sides. Mountain, as the youngest son, immovable, unruffled by things, and just parks off. And that idea of Mountain is stillness, is impassivity, is quiet, resting, things coming to a stop. Our youngest of the family is Lake. And for those of you in South Africa, you'll know the word Laat Lammetjie. This is the youngest in the pack. So after all these children were born, Mommy and Daddy had this last little unexpected surprise. And you've all seen this type of child and families where it's a young little thing and she's just spontaneously lives in the moment, and she doesn't wear shoes, she runs wherever she wants to, she can get away with whatever, and she climbs over her brothers and sisters, and she just captures the hearts of everybody, right? And the lake is expressive joy. It is communication, it's sharing and connecting and networking, and it's a really wonderful spontaneous energy that lake brings to the family. So there you have it, the 8 trigrams. When we study the I Ching, we build relationships on deep levels with each of these trigrams because they are the building blocks. When you start to look at how the two combine, what would you get if you put heaven on the top and earth on the bottom? You've got earth sinking and you've got heaven rising. It creates a split between the two, and therefore we have hexagram 12, stagnation. If we had them the other way around, we had earth on top and heaven underneath, we have heaven and earth coming together, and we have hexagram 11, peace. So in the way that these interact with each other and how they bring different energies together, the combination gives us a wonderful hook to understand how these forces of nature intertwine and interplay to form the 64 hexagrams. So I hope you enjoyed meeting the I Ching family of 8. And of course, as we go along, we'll unpack more insight into how the I Ching works and what you can do to unlock its magic in your life. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.